Please, a round of applause as we welcome Mr. Ajibola Bamidele. We can do better. Come on now. Thank you.
Good morning. Okay, so it's going to be an interesting journey. I spent my last, should I say, 20 years growing professionals. And in the last, consistently for like 8, 10 years now, we've been talking to entrepreneurs almost every time. And I don't know whether you've watched Big Brother Africa before. There's a Big Brother, if you remember Big Brother, I know everybody here is old school, but you just have to know what Big Brother is, and people in Abuja don't know what Big Brother is. That's interesting, So, if you follow the series many years ago, I know a lot of people come into the house, but only one person gets the prize. Don't you think so? That it's very unfair when we have like how many people, like about how many of them? Is it 50 of them or something? And they start dropping everybody for weeks, and you end up having only one person that will get the money. That's what I'm interested in. Who gets the money? Others get applaud. Is it another get applaud? They tried, but they didn't walk away with the gift. The third also does not walk away with the gift. The second, still the gap. There was a time, the last time I watched it, I knew that they gave the guy 40 million and they didn't give the second anything. Maybe just give her an endorsement or something. So if you don't make it to the top, there's a problem already. But the problem we have in entrepreneurship is that a lot of people that go into entrepreneurship is as a result of probably they have professional failure. Sometimes in their career, they might not be doing well. And I've met a lot of why do you go to entrepreneurship? Where I was working, and so everybody see entrepreneurship as a place to go, and some see it as a chilling place or to just have a change of status, so that you can use 25,000 naira to become a CEO. To become a MD CEO in Nigeria is just CAC is 25,000 naira. So you can be hungry with your job tomorrow and say, you know what I want to just go into doing is entrepreneurship. And you've not been the best at anything you're doing before. Like at work, you're not an intrapreneur. You're not someone that everybody will feel when he moves. You're not moving everywhere you are. You're not the best salesperson. You're in sales. You're not the best person in product development, but you're in product development. So all through your life, the message of not being the best has been your message. Have you not seen in school, you were not the best at anything? Think about someone that has never known the pain of being number one in class. Always the best of the worst or the worst of the best. That's average. At least I tried. Those kind of words have given us succor and comfort, because you say, I tried. Yeah, at least I had 2-1. Those kind of comfort, and you feel happy. And then just say, I've tried. So we've glorified average. And but these are people trying to drive industry, trying to drive enterprise, because there's a mental conditioning if you really want to lead any industry. So it starts from school days, because there's a pain to leadership. It's not easy to lead. Think about your school. Think about you didn't just want to have first class, but you want to be the best in class. There are two different goals. You might have first class and you're not the best in class. You're not the best student. So the goal is not to have first class in your industry. The goal is to be the best in your industry, and that's where the pain is. You just don't want to do well. And in Africa also, based on my research, I've seen that people go into entrepreneurship because of poverty. So immediately they start making some little millions, they feel they're okay. They can pay the bills, student school, they can travel out, they can spend some time, holiday, and we just feel this sense of the same thing we felt in school. So when you are having good grades, But you're not the best. You are comfortable. So people will even say, you should be resting. Now you can pay your bills, you're flying first class. So somehow, poverty drives us to do a lot of things here, and what we celebrate is just survival. Survival is when you can pay your bills. But that's not the essence of life. So many times in this part of the world, there's some things we enjoy that I don't know when there's light. We say, we celebrated mediocrity a lot. And especially when you've never seen 24 hours, things work before. So when you see just something working, you just feel, wow, at least I have this. So the conditioning here first is, how did I become who I am today? How did I grow up to be this entrepreneur driving? Because it's about what you're seeing. You are the lead on the business. Okay, entrepreneurs are the lead on the business. They're the one. So if you're level 10, you can build a level 10 business. If you're level 7, you'll be seeing that you are standing in the way of growth, but you might not even know that you are the major problem with that business because you are satisfied with mediocrity. So how did I become the kind of entrepreneur I am today is a very important thing to say. Where did I miss it? And so many times I share stories of my children, and I have one of them that will always do well, and she'll have A's, A stars. But at some point, she doesn't take the accolades in class. But she has A stars. When you have an environment that you have good students, um, you need to be very careful because they will all score 90. A lot of people score 95, 96. It's a very crazy school that the person that will have accolades will just have 98, and the next person might have 97, and like 3 children might have 96. So you cannot say they didn't do well. Everybody did well because they had 96. And if you look at all their results, everybody had almost straight A's. But they will only call few of them the 98. If it's 97 that is a leader, they call the 97. If it's 85 that is a leader in that course, they call the 85, meaning that she was doing well. So one day my wife said, she came and I said, so how many accolades are you getting? My wife said, why are you asking her? She had 8 stars. I said, no. I said, the pain of growth is when you desire to carry the trophy. It's not only when you desire to just pass or maybe have straight A's. So it takes a bit of mental rigor. So my goal today is to assist us, to help us, to challenge us, to train. I'm not motivating us. Okay, we're going to be learning step by step. What can we do so we can engage ourselves? We can put this into practice. And probably I've scribbled down a couple of things that I have done. And there's so many industries. Like I told you, one time, many years ago, I was into fashion. And I started fashion in Ibadan many years ago. I was a tailor. So I just told myself that I want to take on all the jobs in tailoring in Ibadan. Sorry, I always think like, how will I own all the markets? So someone says it's greedy. It's not greed. What can I do to ensure that I own all the markets? And it was crazy. I got to a time that under like 2 years, I built about 20 tailors. I made my first million in Ibadan. Ibadan is not a real place whereby people should make money because people say there's no money there. But it's about what you do, and I will share some things I did differently, and nobody is even doing it in fashion now. So I see people that are very weak in what they need to do. I remember those days on the item notes, when I measure you, nobody can measure you again in the world. Because you see me say, come, can I just describe how I do measure? And you see whether there's a tailor. I'll measure what I don't need. I'll say, do as if you're just eating. So the person will do like this in my store. I'll measure. Why are you measuring that? I said, measuring in case you after eating, I want to see how your suit is. I said, do as if you walk. He said, hold on, hold on, hold on. You see me go, the person is there, I'll measure your hand to this place. I said, why? I want to see how your suit will be moving while you're moving. So there's no other tailor you go to that will take you through that experience. In fact, when you get to another tailor and he does this, you say, is that all? He said, no, 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 it cannot be good. But by the time I'm done with you in measuring you, you will have high expectations. That means in the little things from the experience when I meet you, then I will ask you. I said, what kind of suit do you want? And the guy tells me, I said, so what kind of material, what kind of skin type do you have? He said, what do you mean by skin type? In suit again. Look at that kind of nonsense. Then I start talking about different skin types in Nigeria, different materials, cashmere, what's made up of, zero spawn, why is it very essential, why if you have this kind of thing. I was so when I engage you, when it comes to materials, you'll be confused. So choose anyone, say choose for me. Because by the time I'm done with you, you cannot let somebody choose. You cannot believe in yourself anymore. Then I go to every corporate place, every pastor. Can I be your brand consultant? I go to every EDs, MDs. I do meetings. Then I go to law courts. I dress like a lawyer. Then after I go to, and I'll dress after the whole thing. I say, sorry, hello. My co-colleague, I'm not your co-lawyer. I'm a tailor. Hey, you're a tailor? Say, I sold all of this. Everybody started saying, come to my chamber, have this card. Come to my chamber, have this card. I dressed like a lawyer. I was selling like crazy. There was no internet. Internet has created weak entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs that cannot think. Because we have things too easy. If you've started life not from the internet, you know that there's rigor in entrepreneurship. And you have to think about what can you do differently. And guess what? I go to every church. I meet every pastor. When they're doing counseling, I'm there. Counseling, being part of, because that's what they want to choose. Women buy their gowns. I partner with all bridal in your state. So that, when because women get their bridals before the guys. They're the ones that want to get the gowns first. So everywhere I took over. Now, and it was just engaging, not online. It was engaging them. So you cannot say anywhere. So when they want to do graduation, all final year students in every school, I've gone to engage them in final year to talk, because they will do graduate, wear suits. Because some wear suits only one time in their lifetime, and that's the time during their convocation. So I'm in all schools, final year, telling everybody this. I was selling like crazy. Look at what I'm still saying today. If anybody still does that, we still sell like crazy. But the question, nobody's still doing that. You'll be shocked that everybody's just online saying, this is what I do. That's all. What I'm still telling you, if anybody's in fashion that would do it, will still dominate. As simple as this, I'm telling you, I did it about 18 years ago. And somebody here, I'm still looking at the fashion, I say, what are these guys doing? What are these guys doing? Because I'm wondering, there's money on the table, but people are not pushing to ensure they're not living crazy. Please come and sit on this. Please let him sit here. Please, he's joining me joining me in this today. Okay, so you can see what I'm just trying to make you see that no matter what you do, can you just rule? Can you just make sure that you rule? And I started from fashion, so that if I have a fashion designer here, so you don't see we are talking top of you and say, why are you not leading in your industry? You can lead in your industry no matter what you do. And you can do what others are not doing. Your goal is to make sure 90% of the market comes to you. Then how you'll be thinking will be different. Now, essentially, I want him to, is what I'm talking about. Come and sit here. So I want us to now, so get my slides there. I've started, I can start now, okay, so that we can see what we're going to be looking at today. So can you now see that we are the ones leading the business, standing in the way of growth? Because you're not even thinking leadership. You're comfortable with having some little change in the bank. So around you're a billionaire, you're happy, but you are still a failed billionaire because Poverty, like I said, is what made you go into business. So when you are a billionaire already, you feel you're done, but you're not leading your industry, but you're a billionaire. It's possible you're having billions and not leading your industry. You're in real estate, you're making 20 billion already, but you're not the one leading the industry. So we're not talking about money. We're talking about, can we lead? But what I realize is, when we lead, we make money. So meaning that, don't take money, just lead. That's what we're going to. We just want to say, the industry I am today, can I just take over the industry? Whatever it's going to take, I want to take over that industry. That's the pressure that we want to take on ourselves. So I'm not really talking about how to X your profit. All I know is if you become number one, you will not be poor. So the goal is not just let me make money. So that's a disclaimer. So there's something I want you to play for me. Can you play the video for me? I want you to see this. I don't know whether you guys saw this about 3 months ago online, and it was amazing. So it's going to play a video, and you see the trajectory we're trying to look into.
Okay. Have a good one.
Bit of a showman in him, huh? A bit of a showman in him. I think he's been hanging out with me too much.
I must admit, it does ease my nerves a bit to see that smile. So he's having a good time. From the corner, and he has to get on top of it. And so he has to lean out, rely on his arms,
Dude,
throw his leg up.
just put your other hand on the thing. Why is, it's just one arm in it.
He's shaking his hands. He's resting a little bit. He's putting chalk on his hands. That's going to absorb the sweat. He's just going climbing.
Yeah, just going climbing.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Can you just take a step back? You're making me nervous, man. Can you just like?
Oh, yeah,
Can
yeah,
you just
okay.
say yeah?
I'll go ahead and get back on the building and start just holding on.
You're
I'll be-
freaking me out.
All right, see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to keep
All
cruising.
right.
Is someone getting scared for him, even when it's a replay of what? You're still getting scared for him. It's a replay, don't worry.
Climb.
It's not just.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mark
Oh,
was
yeah?
excited being up there. Oh no.
Emily, no! Why? He's done it. Wow. Look at that.
Oh, I can hear you guys.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm
Let's
busy taking
go.
first photos in the city.
Okay, thank you.
Yay!
How does this feel? You can tell me when you're watching. How does it feel? Feels interesting, isn't it? If you're an African, we don't like heights. So every African will just be gasping while you're trying to do it. You see, getting to the top comes with fear. It's not easy to be number one. The same way you're feeling the adrenaline, it's not easy because you're not trying to just survive. It comes with fear. It comes with a lot of emotion. The same way you're feeling that way. Some people will even tell you that, why are you going that way? You're okay already because you have money already. You're doing well already. So why are you pushing more? Why do you want to do this? Because the reason why they don't know your name is basically because you're not number one in your industry. People will know your name. The world will know your name. And you will have a good name. A good name is a name worth inheriting by your children's children. Because when you don't do things like this, then you don't really have a name. Though you might be rich, but you don't have a name. Now, only people that get to the top of their industry usually have a name. And that's why most times I talk to this, I love this girl a lot. Hilda the Basti. You know, when she started life, she just wanted to be number one. She just wanted to do something that nobody had ever done before. She wanted to build the biggest pot. I feel that girl does not get excited by doing what others do. Just wanted to say, you know what has not been done before, I want to always make Guinness Book of Record. It comes with a different level of pain and rigor to ensure that we're pushing hard in an industry that a lot of people are also doing well. That's interesting because people are doing well already. But you look at them and say, no, I can do well. You know, even though people are doing well.
The reason your business is stuck isn't strategy. It's you and your team. Now, imagine what happens when you grow and your team grows with you. Check out some of our programs. They're content-rich and deeply experiential. See, at Seed Academy, we help founders, managers, and sales team to lead, manage, sell, and succeed. Let's build the team that builds the business. Talk to us today.
Seed Academy, your growth partner.
Okay, so I saw this that money is at the top. Okay, money is at the top. You cannot help people. You cannot give more to charity. You cannot develop the nation if you don't have money. You know, if you're not getting the 90%, you just move, you know, just surviving. You cannot give a lot. And you cannot impact the world. It's not what we get from the world. What can you give to the world when you don't even have more than enough? Okay, when I was looking at how people, and I feel we are conditioned in Africa not to think too big. We're conditioned to be small. So somebody want to start a business in the US and want to say, I want to solve a world problem, but we just want to solve Lagos problem first. Then our strategy is a strategy of Abeokuta first. You know, our strategy is a strategy of, let me just be above the waters in Nigeria. So you're not thinking Africa, you're not thinking the world, you're not benchmarking the world, you're not looking at what you can do. We're programmed to be small. And most times because almost everybody around is trying to live that way, you don't feel you're wrong. You don't feel there's more to do, there's more to give back to the world. So, industry leaders, she mentioned something when we started. The person that spoke about if you want to get a phone, you want to think about Samsung. Imagine you want to even go to anywhere in Abuja to buy a phone. Where do you want to go and buy the phone? What comes to your mind first? There's a company that will come to your mind first. Which organization comes to your mind first? Slot. You see, does not have it. You know, unless you have a fan, a friend, but you want to go to Slot. So Slot, should I tell you, is one of the industry leaders in sales of phone in Nigeria. Am I correct? Don't think so. So their names, people just say, I want to buy phone. I want to go to Slot to buy phone. So it looks like Slot has become almost an authority in that industry. So the question is that what problems in the world will people have that will think about your company first? Now the question is, you start asking questions and say, how do I get to top of the mind that everybody thinks about us first? At least if you want to do something, they consider us first. Currently, if you want to do certifications in Nigeria, you consider us first. If you want to do HR certifications, you consider us first. A PMP class is full. You consider us first. Even when you want to talk to your friend, you first talk to us first. So the question is, how do you become an organization that people have a problem and you are the first person that comes to mind? So there's no way we will not be rich because people think about us first. If people have spiritual problem and think about you first, you have crowd. Say, this problem, this way I can solve it. But a lot of us don't worry about things like this. That's the problem. Because whatever you don't even worry about, nothing can happen as a man thinketh. Because you're not even thinking that way. You're not angry. Then why are you not thinking about me first? That means you've not taken your business to the zone of awareness, whereby it's a top of the mind that people think about you first. Until you get there, you don't have a business that can stay years because you've not built something that you can go and chill because you're not the top of the mind. And you can be top of the mind. She also mentioned for 10 years. Can you be top of the mind for 10 years? Because some people that top of the mind for 1 year or two, but they cannot keep it for 20 years. They cannot keep it for 30 years because it takes a lot. It's easy to get to the top. Staying at the top, to still be topping is hard. Don't you think so? So you can easily get to the top by doing something, bam, bam, bam. You can go online now and just shout, bah, 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 and everybody knows about you. But that's not all. There's something you need to do to stay at the top that we're going to be looking at today. So because the money is there. And when people buy things from people, if you're at the top, people just assume they're buying what is real. It's like, you buy Apple, you don't even say, are you sure it's quality? There's some questions that people don't ask when you're at the top of an industry. People are willing to part with their money. People are comfortable if you're at the top. High-performing organizations are 4x more likely because the question, I went to a bank, Zenith, about a few days ago. Then I sat with someone, I said, man, these guys that work here, why have they stayed this long? Because not that they're even making so much money. I've seen sharp guys in banking, sharp guys, but they're not making so much money. Some are just making maybe 5 million a year, 7 million, 10 million a month. Then I'm wondering, and they're committed and they have energy, they push through. But you as an entrepreneur, that you're not at the top, if you pay 15 million, people will leave you. Hello? You can pay more than someone that's working with Zenith, but the person that works with Zenith will not leave. But the person that's working with you that you've paid double will leave you. Are you not seeing that it's not about money? That means if you cannot retain talent, it's because you're not at the top. People like to identify with who's at the top. Because where will I go again when I'm at the zenith of life? Which bank again? So the guy is not thinking anymore that there's nowhere I can go. So I rather retire here. Because there's nowhere to go anymore. Because I'm at the zenith already. So where do I go? So you're wondering why you're an entrepreneur and you met someone from Zenith and you're telling the person, can you come and join me? The guy said, I'm not. I'll double. Say, I'm not. Say, triple. I said, I'm not. Say, why? I'm not. I'll give you money. Say, I'm not. Okay, can I sign a check of 2 years? He said, I'm not. Are you thinking I'm going to fail? I'm not going. And you're wondering what has happened. There's a conditioning already that the person don't know where to go again because who's at the top can I be with? But when somebody, you're paying well, but you're the 10th bank, your team members are still looking up to working with someone that's at the top. No matter what you do for them, if someone at the top approaches them, they will leave. Sorry, am I correct? The reason why that person is still there is because someone at the top have not approached the person. So the talents, can you get this, fix this thing, you know? So price sensitivity drops. Okay, so when you go to Transcorp, when you come to Abuja, You don't, when you enter Transcorp, you're not about to bargain. When you enter another hotel, you say, hello, how much 200? I like 80. 80K. I'll go. Because, but Transcorp, 750. Okay. Do you see when somebody's at the top and you walk to a restaurant and you don't even ask for the bill of a bottle of water? Bottle of water, you just assume that, man, I'm at the top, I'm training at the top. So when they tell you 10 grand for this, you just pay. You won't be angry. But if someone is not at the top and is asking for that same money, you'll be angry. If that person is asking for 5,000, you'll still be angry. Sorry, am I correct? Because what, you're not at the top. Why should you command this amount of money? So these are the challenges. So these are industry insights that price sensitivity drops significantly when a brand is seen as the leader. So you're not in the, they call it red ocean. You see, dog eat dog or something. Oh boy, okay, if you buy now, I'll remove 1 naira for you. 2 naira. Okay, okay, I will do 3 naira now. So you're having this concern every time that people are asking, can you just have a reduction again, and reduction again, and reduction again? You cannot build that way. Okay, when you keep doing that. So, I've shown you this video. They come with fear. So leadership requires bold ambition. So, it's fearful to want to get to the top. It's fearful, it's not easy. When you looked at this video, you can see that how will you just want to climb that? You know, what are you looking for? If you look at the guy's history, he's actually climbed so many mountains. So that's not the first one. So you can even say, man, this guy is okay. Yes, he's okay, but he wants to do more. He wants to climb what someone has not climbed before. So if you Google now, someone that have climbed something that's very scary before, he pops. Why? Just that one day can keep him there for 5 years. Even when he stopped climbing, his name will keep trending online. When your SEO will move because he has just done one thing. Just that thing now, if nobody will do that in the next 5 years, that means when you still search, it's still the same person that will pop. That means he's secured himself if nobody tries that again. But if you have so many climbers trying it, then he has to keep doing something new. That's the challenge. So if you're in a competitive industry, you cannot say you've done one, but somebody else will do it tomorrow. Then you say, hey, you're looking for something else somebody has not done. That's the only way you can stay at the top. Because you cannot say you are there. The only way you stay at the top for long, if people in your industry are not very hungry. If they are very hungry, then they will take you out in. Look at how they took Idabasi out as the, is it Kukaton they call it? Look at how they took her out in days, and they took the person that took her out in days, and took her. So they're changing every time. So it's highly competitive. So you have to keep changing. So what makes us also relax is if your industry is not as competitive, you now feel you have arrived. That arrival syndrome can kill you. Because everybody that felt they've arrived, they're at the bottom. Think of the company that were there 20 years ago. They're no longer the first 5. Okay, the syndrome that when you feel you've arrived is a problem also to you. Because you stop pushing. You stop doing more. And that's what this is about. So let's look at it. So leadership requires bold ambition. Safe goals create average results. Let me just play safe. You know, when you're trying to get to the top, there are more losses. And there are more gains. You're going to burn your hands more. Because you're pushing. So if you like safety, if you're a risk-averse person, you cannot get to the top. That guy would not have climbed if it's like you and I. Because we fear heights. Hello? I traveled one time to San Francisco with my kids, and one of them loved adventure. So, because she sees me as a role model, she believes I love adventure. She believes. You know, so anything she sees, she said, Daddy, let's do it. So sometimes I want to prove, and that's what I won't do again. I want to prove that, oh yeah, let's go. You know? And it's not age that you used to do adventure. If you've not been built for adventure, forget you've lost it. So I went through a roller coaster with her. I just entered. I've been seeing, I don't know what brought me into that kind of environment. I tell you, when I got in there and the thing moved, hey! I ought to be looking at my daughter, but I was not. I was seeking for, I was scared all through that ride. You see, because it was going through different mountains. I said, Ajibola, who sent you here? But I've entered already, I cannot come out because I'm already inside. By the time we came out, I said, I won't do this again in my life, God. And my daughter said, Daddy, it was so much fun. I said, what is? But I didn't want to discourage her so that I won't use my words, my fear to cage her. So I'd say, what? It was fun. Because she didn't look at me. She said, Daddy, let's go again. No, I said, I'm tired. I don't want to do that anymore. But I can tell you I'm not trying that again. So safe goals create average results. If it does not stretch you, it won't build you. Because the real you, will you do what you're doing if billions will come to your account normally? Will you still push? Think about it. Let's say every month you have 10 billion that comes to your account. Will you still push? Will you still wake up? Can you not see what I'm saying? That it's poverty that's making people wake up. Bills, because 10 billion. Why am I even rushing? Why am I doing this? I've left this level. Which level? I don't understand. We leave level just just I've left. Which level have you left? It's just that you are not poor again. It's like you can pay your bill. It's a state that if people would have come before you have entered, it's because you are the one that is breaking poverty line, that is making you feel you left the level. Because really, although the last children would not say I've left the level. The guy wanted to marry and saw buildings in Dubai and said, Daddy, I want this building to be where they're going to do this. Daddy, I don't like this again. Let's get this today. Daddy. Now, how many of your kids that can point to such buildings that you can buy? No, think about it now. So did you hear the gist? I look, I'm the one giving you gist that's happening on social media. When I forgot the name of the daughter that got married, and said she went to Dubai and saw a very beautiful building, and the father said, "Okay, Daddy, I want this building. Okay, so that my guests can come for maybe after party." And say, "Okay, we rent all for after party." So he said, "I want a building for after party." And she got it, and she didn't like it again. I got the second one on the same street, and say, "Okay, good." And do you know that investment per time? That investment to buy that property in a very good place, I didn't follow the amount, honestly. But I know that it's going to be pretty much expensive. It cannot be 5 billion. Because I went to one estate about a couple of weeks ago to have a meeting, and I said a land is 3.5 billion. Shoreline Estate in Lagos. So and you cannot rent there. Only people that you cannot rent, there are rules. So if you can even afford to pay, you cannot live, you cannot live in that environment. It's not for people that rent buildings. So even when you have money, you cannot. They will tell that person to leave the building. So it's a condition that is for people that are that level of wealth. So I know it can also be shoreline kind of estate that guy just purchased. So you need to be stretched. And people don't want to be stretched because it's painful, it's fearful. Okay? It's fearful. Let's look at this. Not every business is designed. So let's take, for example, the way you run your business today, can you actually rule? Think about it. Okay, so people that rule, is that what they are doing? Think about, can you now see that we always pray it in this part of the world, but we don't design our business for rulership. But we pray. We'll be at the top. That's all. It's by words we get to the top. But we don't get to the top by design. Because the way you live, you know that if that's what people at the top are doing, then being at the top is easy. Then you should have been at the top. So why do you believe your business will get to the top when you know? I love this word. It's called Stockdale paradox. He said, let us maintain an unwavering faith that will get to the top. But let's confront the brutal fact that your way of life cannot get to the top. Your staff cannot get to the top. Your structure, your design, your system cannot get to the top. So you cannot say, I've re-engineered my system to a point that, man, who can beat us to it? That's a problem. But do you know we still believe we'll be at the top? How? So it's good to maintain a faith, but we need to also confront the brutal fact that currently, this staff I have cannot get to the top. With their mindset, with their behavior, with their passion, they cannot get to the top. Don't let us deceive ourselves and just speaking into what is not designed for. Just like when you didn't do you don't have a good foundation, but you believe that this building will be taken to 10th floor. And the foundation is for one floor, or maybe bungalow. But that's what we do. So we say, will this building get to 10th floor? Yes. Okay, what kind of foundation does he have? If you even get to the top, he's going to do what? Collapse. Okay? And that's why some people that don't have the right system, and when they get to the top, they collapse. Because they're not actually designed to get to the top. It was by fluke they got to the top, not by design. When you get to the top by fluke, you still come back, you still collapse. That's why, have you not seen companies that you hear their name after a while and just see that they go into crisis and they disappear? Because that's what happened. They got to the top, not by design.
Global Senior Leadership Acceleration Program 2026 holds in Doha. This year's theme is Janus Leadership, strictly for CEOs, founders, and senior leadership teams. Learn how to win today and lead tomorrow. Register as a team for a luxury executive experience. Early bird registration is now open. Call this number now.
Seed Academy, your growth partner.
So, some are designed to survive, some are designed to struggle. And you and I, if you're very, true to self, you should know. Like, there's a guy that was crying final year. He was the last in class. He didn't, I don't know whether you did this setting when you were in school, whereby when you don't know something, you sit among people that know. Why are you looking at me like, people did these things, and so they displaced the guy and placed him in front. Because the design to pass the exam was that I must sit among people that know. But the guy was now moved to the front. So he stopped writing. Now, we finished and it was the only one left. And the lecturer went to the guy and said, sorry, you're not writing. Yeah, is it like this? As if he's thinking. But nothing is written. So after the exam, the guy came out. And guess what? That guy was still smiling with us outside. The guy still believed that somehow he would pass that exam. He was not crying. Anyway, so I just felt, okay, this guy knew what he was doing. But when they released the results, I don't know whether they did that in your school, they pasted it on the wall. This guy now went, he was still running to go and check his results. I don't know why he was running to check the result. He should know the result because it was designed to fail. Now, by the time he got there, he was looking for his name. Those things can be very tiny. Then he just saw his matric. Bam, 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 bam. Carry over. You know what the guy did? Busted into tears. They destroyed my life. Then I said, so I went to the guy. I said, sorry. Is it not that cost that they placed you in front that you just carried over? He said, yes. I said, why are you just crying now? I thought you would cry that day. Because you're crying, you are designed to start crying, but the guy started crying late. That means that guy has hope. And that's the same way we have hope in Nigerian businesses. We have hope that we will do well, but our structure should make us fail. So that guy has hope. The hope was very strong till the end. That's how we run businesses in Nigeria. We just have hope that will retain our customers. You cannot say there's one thing that will make your customer always come back and not go somewhere else. But you say, we have hope. Currently now, I set up a system because we're 20 years this year, and I set up a system. Now, if you're in customer service and your customer fail, you get query. Second failure, you get suspended. Now, because there are systems we've set, if our students follow, they cannot fail. So the first thing I ask you is that, sorry, did the student follow it? Okay, no. Did you tell the student that he will fail? If we say yes, then we pop champagne when the student fail. Because we've told the student that based on our system, you are designed to fail. But if we give the student hope that the student will succeed after he has not gone through the right process, then that person is our problem. That customer service that gives hope when someone has not done the things he should do is the problem. Look at that kind of system. Now, there's a level we also get to that the people that will handle customer service will be people that can solve customer problem. That means there are people that if you're struggling with project management and your customer service person, where are you struggling with? Is it risk? Come on, let's talk about it. That means there's a level of, so if the people handling customer service are illiterate of the cost they're handling, whereby they don't even know it. So we want project managers to handle project management. We want HR managers to handle HR management. We want business analysts to handle business management. And that person will not just say, sorry, madam, you will pass. What are you talking about? You say, what are you struggling with? Is it this area? Can we talk about it? That's a different level. Now, a company that has those kind of people in customer service will do better than a company that have someone with good attitude but no intelligence. Sorry, ma. Okay, ma. Just believe, ma. Any company, you say, this girl has good attitude, but does he have competence to service the kind of customers you have? Now, not putting that kind of people. Maybe you are meant to pay someone that is a project manager 1.5 million. But you want to put someone that is 300,000 that can only motivate. Someone that is 300,000 or 350,000 can only say, you will do well, sir. Just believe. Because that person doesn't even know how to do well. So the only thing I can do is to encourage you. But the person that is that thing will tell you where's the problem. Now, do you know how many customers you will lose if you don't have those kind of people sitting, helping you out? You lose more customers than so you lose 5 customers that will tell others. So really, how much is the cost of that person that can solve that problem to what you are losing to be an industry leader? We are penny wise, pound foolish in Nigeria. Because you lose the top, but you think you are surviving. And the first question is, there was a time somebody went to an office and went to see someone, said, sorry, hello, please, can I find someone that can talk to in this office? And they met someone. And the someone said, oh, someone is not around. Listen to this. Have you not seen so many businesses cannot survive without the real someone? That when they come, they know that every other person you have is not someone. They know that this person does not look like who I should talk to. So the question is that, why won't you die as an entrepreneur when everybody can only talk to you? You will die now. But if you get to top, you will die because everybody needs to see you. But if people know that everybody that they see looks like who they are looking for, then you get to industry leadership. So by design, can we re-audit our system and see that these people, I want to go for a contract, but I know if I send this person, we'll lose the contract. So imagine you now want to scale. You now have 10 contract meetings or meetings to defend a day. You can't scale now because you are the only one that will go to that 10. So you have to cancel 9. So when you're canceling 9, you're going because if I send this person, we don't fail. You're the one that will go, I'm the one that must go. So you can never get to the top. Look at people at the top. Let's talk about Zenith. Why are they pulling? Let's talk about UBA. Why are they pulling the CBN governors from a company? Hello? They are staffing one company now. But when they want to pull someone that will be the director of operations, work deputy director or deputy governor for CBN, they're pulling from UBA. Can you see the challenge of why the gap is there between people at the top and you yourself? If you see their talents, you know they must be at the top. So we start unfolding that gradually you start pumping people. If you don't have enough money, make sure you know that, oh, this is the journey I need to go through. Because if you're a startup, you cannot hire them. But guess what? You can hire them if you understand that talent is investment. Because talent is investment. It's not an expense. A startup easily buy building of 400 million, 500 million. I've seen someone that just started a business. They can buy 500 million, but cannot pay a staff of 300,000. How would that business grow? 500 million. Staff, highest paid, 350,000 naira. Sorry, think about it. So what kind of staff is that one? That's not staff now. Backing down more money. Because that person is not seeing the staff as an investment, but he's seeing. There was a time I was trying to fly people from Morocco to Nigeria, and I'm still on that journey. Because I realized that when I go to any company with people that are not black, they open the door more than people that are black. In Nigeria, we're still slave masters. We're still slaves. One MD said he's not around. When a white person was at reception, the secretary said, "Hello, sir." I said, "Don't come." He said, "But he's white." "Ah, okay, I'm around." Because it's not. Think about why we pay a lot to schools that has white. Okay, any school in Abuja, I don't know schools in Abuja, but I know any school in Abuja that has 2 whites, the head of school, that are 2 whites and all blacks, that school must be 6 million minimum. Not all white. Oh, I said 2 whites, other blacks. That school will move from a school of 1.5 million to 6 million. And when parents come and the person that will attend to you is a white, you feel comfortable. Say, "Hello, your children is in safe hands." Say, "Oh, thank you. How much?" Say, 7 million. Okay. But if you go to a Nigerian when you say, "How much?" "How about 500,000? Because, sorry, what I'm telling you, whatever it is, you don't do what you feel like doing. You do what works. What is working is what you will do. You don't need to do what you feel like doing because you are in a business terrain that you understand the business environment. You understand how the customers think. So why are you not knowing that bringing that person and following her around is an investment? It's like you're wearing clothes because they will see that clothes more than you. So you break places more. So the question is that the girl earns maybe $1,500 a month. Then you give accommodation. So why are you stifling your business for not losing that 2.5 million a month? How much is it to get to the top? To make sure you are just different. So imagine you move as a CEO and you're always moving with those kind of people. Don't you know doors will open for you? Don't you know when you want to enter government, it gets open every time you want to go? You can say, so you don't need connection already. So connection, what connection do you need? You bought connection. Sorry, it's a perception. So you're not even perceived to rule. So some are designed to struggle. Dreaming is not leadership. Vision is the beginning, but not the advantage. You can have a vision to get to the top, but you're not doing the works to get to the top. You won't get to the top. So vision is just the beginning. That you have a vision, that's all. And I don't like people talking about vision too much. We have overflogged vision in Nigeria. In fact, people will soon be looking for another vision board by December. Somebody called me last year. He said, "Jibola, are you not doing a vision board program?" I said, "Why? Have you finished the vision board of last year? I want to know why you want to board another vision. Because the vision board you have last year is here that you are behind. So why do you want another vision board? it just makes you feel, there's this feeling of, let me start again. Let me not look like a failure. But you failed already. So why do you need vision board again? I said, what you need is execution board. How to ensure that whatever you say you will do, you do. You don't need vision board. So teams can exist but not execute. Actions can be busy but not effective. Have you not seen people at work? We're going to get to that point today. People at work that look like they're working but they're not working. Or some people doing something and look at what they're doing, we get to the top, I cannot get to the top. We start looking at all those things and see, okay, how can we debunk those things? So dreaming is not leadership. And I love to, I put this there because of this. This is what I want to talk about. If you've attended SLAP before, you'll have seen this. We've flogged this, but this is not for hate. But that is where I'm looking into in this part. People have different mission. BHAGs. BHAGs is what that guy have done. It's an audacious goal to get to the top of, is it Taipei? Is it, what's the name of that building? Is it Taipei? The building what now? That the guy climbed? It's Taipei or something. So you can see that that guy adds, but what you need as an entrepreneur is your internal transformation. To look at your systems, the things you do day by day and see whether you can get to the top. So clarity without design is failure. So that means if you have a vision without the right structure backing it, you're going to fail. So vision is the beginning. Okay? Vision is the beginning. In fact, if you don't have vision, but you have structure of the top, you get to the top. When people say vision is a principality, is a lie. Because when you have vision of first class, but you don't go to class, you don't do your assignment, you don't read, but you have a vision for first class, you're still going to come out with third class. But if you don't have a vision for first class, but you go to class every time, you ask difficult questions every time, you're always in front, you don't miss your lecture, you read to master your book, you just find yourself having first class without having a vision for first class. So what's most important is the design, not the vision. So all this vision to be number one, and I've seen those things in different businesses, and I'm wondering, why do people, this is not number one, to be number one in their industry. That's not what powers you. So clarity without design is failure waiting, because it won't still happen. Okay? It won't still happen. So Africa's business problem is that we have so many businesses, but they are average businesses. You see, when you see businesses that have been that way for years, you've only had 10 staff for years, and that's 10 staff. You are the same today, the same yesterday, and the same forever. You are not God. I don't understand why you're like that. So you're not moving. That business is not even conditioned to be bigger than that. Have you not seen the entrepreneurs ever thought about, we are in a building and we'll stay there forever? So we've gotten to Wasimi. We've gotten to where we can rest without sit. Boom. And that's why when people build head office, that head can also make them lose head. Because maybe the MD has not had any beautiful office before. You know, that office can also ground him. Because there's an office that feels like you've arrived. And it's a problem. And that's why I've seen people say, I cannot do that again. Wait, why can't you do that again? Why can't you lead the troops again? So, we don't lack ideas, we lack dominance. Because everybody here has businesses that are doing well, but you are not just at the top. So you're asking yourself, why do I have a small school? Why do I have a small supermarket? Why do you have a small this? So Nigerians have too many small. In fact, most times you see everybody in Nigeria, they're entrepreneurs now. Someone looking for a job has air business online. Someone looking, am I correct? They say, sorry, what do you do? Yeah, I'm looking for a job. So what have you been doing? I thought I worked for 2 years. So what have you been doing? Yes, I'm doing shoes. I'm doing. So I said, you're a CEO. I said, no, I'm not CEO. So the question is that person is not even designed to get to the top. So we have small businesses like that everywhere. Copycat strategy. Some cannot even think. They just, and that's why you have so many people in social media space now that are not thinking. They just copy what is trending. They're not the trend. Have you seen that? They say, what would they do tomorrow is they're waiting for the next trend. If it's pokopompo, that's what they will do. It means that pokopompo. This guy, please, do you know that song? The song that we played that time. Sorry, I know Lagos is more trending than Abuja because you guys don't know all those songs and that we were doing when the trend was running. There's this song. Please find that song for me. Yeah, and that guy, everybody was doing it. But now everybody just, you say social media, do something to trend. He said, let us look online, what's trending. Have you heard that before? The guy does not have anything to think about. He's just waiting for people that are thinking to think so that he can think. And sometimes when he now finds something to even think, it's not even the best of the copycats. You can be the best of the copycat, then you think you are the original. Sorry, I don't know. You can't still match the original because you are still weak in your systems. Just want to do just little. Sorry, I don't. And when you see someone pushing Nigerians to want to do more, they feel that person is too much. Calm down now. Because when that person go back home, everybody mentoring that person that are old, they've never done good before. Because most people in Nigeria don't have anybody at home that is their mentor. But those are the people that speak more into their life. When they're in pain, they cannot reach people that are at the top. They reach people that are not at the top. So those people will sell them wisdom for the bottom. Because those people also avoid that pain throughout their lifetime. That's why they're at the bottom. Think about it.
Seed Academy, your growth partner.